Good day and welcome to another episode of In the Spotlight. I'm Superintendent Michael Richard, and today I'm pleased to be joined by Chris Lizotte, West Springfield's Director of Veteran Services. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Thanks. Why don't we start, tell the audience at home a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and what you do here in Westside.
Sure. I'm originally an Agawam resident. Grew up there for most of my life. Shortly thereafter, I joined the Army National Guard once I graduated high school. Served out of the infantry company that is in Agawam and went to Iraq 2007, 2008. Came home, worked a couple different jobs, and found this one here in West Springfield, coming up on my 4th year, and happy to be here.
Good, and you were appointed to this position under former Mayor Sullivan.
Correct.
And as the Director of Veteran Services, what is your primary function? What are you doing for veterans here in West Springfield and those in Western Mass?
So our primary function across the state is to provide a localized benefit. It's a unique benefit in the sense that Massachusetts is the only state that provides this. It's a benefit really to help veterans, widows, spouses with financial support, medical reimbursements, but we also provide assistance in applying for state and federal benefits as well.
So how would a veteran here in West Springfield take advantage of the services that you do provide? Where would they find you, and what are some of the processes that they can go through to really take full advantage of everything that's available to them?
Sure. So I'm up on the 2nd floor of the Town Hall, 26 Central Street. Just come on in at any time. We provide immediate assistance, we provide emergency assistance, and then just coming in, there's millions of different benefits out there for veterans and their families, so a lot of times it's difficult to navigate the system, but we're there to help go through that system there.
For sure. So this weekend is, we celebrate Veterans Day, and it's truly a remarkable time to acknowledge the work that so many of our soldiers have done to protect our country. But what kinds of things are going to happen in West Springfield to celebrate Veterans Day?
Sure. So starting on Saturday, November 10th, early in the morning, 8 o'clock at St. Thomas School, the West Springfield Veterans Council is going to be hosting their annual Veterans Breakfast. We're going to be honoring several veterans there, but the breakfast itself is free for any veteran that wants to attend. We'll do some patriotic music, there's going to be some raffles, it's just going to be a really good time. And then starting at 11 o'clock, again from St. Thomas School, traveling along Kings Highway, Elm Street, and Park Ave will be our annual Veterans Day Parade. All are encouraged to attend and line the streets, fly the flags, pay tribute to the men and women who serve. Right after the parade on the Town Common, we're going to have a brief ceremony for about 15 minutes in front of the Park of Heroes, the flags that are displayed out on the Town Common. And then the American Legion is going to be hosting a nice luncheon sponsored by Partners, pasta, meatball. We want all veterans and families to come out. It's going to be free for veterans to eat there.
That sounds like a fantastic day to celebrate. Tell me more about the flags on the Common. How did that project start? It has evolved over a couple of years to the point that it's such an impressive sight. When every morning when I drive by there and see that, it really is pretty emotional to see.
Yeah, absolutely. A good friend of West Springfield, John Ledoux, he's a Lions Club member. He had gone out to Pittsfield, Mass. And seen a smaller version of the Park of Heroes, and he said that he wanted to bring it to West Springfield. So he came to see me one day, pitched the idea. I said, "This is brilliant. We need to do this." So him and his team over at the Lions Club got together with support from the town and everything, and we launched it. And it started off, I think, about 300 flags. Now we're close to 700 flags on the Common, and all the money that's raised through this program goes towards scholarships for students whose parents or grandparents are veterans of Hampden County.
And each of those flags is dedicated to somebody? You buy a flag and you can dedicate that in somebody's honor, is that correct?
That's correct. For any living, deceased veteran, anyone that's going to be joining into the service, you can honor that person.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Speaking of, we're talking veterans. What do you see as the greatest challenge facing veterans today, whether they are just returning or whether they are veterans of wars of years gone by?
Well, you said it. The veterans that are just returning, it's working with them and making the connection with them, making sure that they feel like that they're not forgotten. A lot of things that we've been seeing lately is, unfortunately, the veteran suicide. The rates are going through the roof, and we're trying to do our best as service providers across the country to highlight that and make sure that the veterans are being connected to and that they're going to get the benefits and services that they are certainly entitled to and deserve. But that's our biggest struggle right now, is really connecting with the returning veterans and making sure that they feel at home when they do return home. A lot of them feel kind of disconnected. It's a big transition going from, hey, I'm serving here in combat, and all of a sudden I got to go work a 9 to 5 somewhere, and it's a very difficult transition, but we're there to try to help them.
Very good, very good. So some of the things that you love to do besides helping your fellow veterans is to take pictures, and you've got quite the affinity for photography. Tell me a little bit about that, how that started, and maybe what some of your favorite subjects are when you're out there with your camera.
So I do love photography. It's been actually one of my coping mechanisms as a veteran, suffering from different things, but it's helped me get through a lot of different difficult times. And one of the things that I love to do is photograph nature and wilderness and animals and everything. I find it very soothing, and it's been extremely rewarding just to take pictures and share them and know that people, hey, that's a great photo. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy it. So yeah, it's been a great thing to do. And I encourage anyone to really get into the hobby. I know the VA's actually been looking at doing more programs with photography because they understand veterans really do enjoy that.
Oh, for sure. Great. So, Chris, tradition on the show is to always ask a guest if there's somebody that they would like to see featured on the spotlight. And some people come in prepared to answer that, and some don't. But it's your turn. So who would you like to see featured in a future segment?
Probably our president. Well, two people, I would say. I know both would be pretty bashful about doing it, but the president of the Veterans Council, Bob Pomeroy, or our commander of the VFW post, Norm Burns. Both are great guys, both Vietnam-era veterans, and they have a lot of insight in the town. They've been big, strong community supporters, and love to see what they have to say.
Well, maybe if they're shy, we'll get them here together, perhaps.
That would be great.
It'll make it a little more comfortable for them. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
This is another segment of In the Spotlight. I was so pleased to be joined by Chris Lizotte, our Director of Veteran Services. Again, you can find him on the second floor of Town Hall at 26 Central Street. Have a great day.